Good morning. Welcome back to Books with Beck. I'm Beck. Let's talk books. Today we have a few things on the list as of reading, so I thought I'd go ahead and document the day. This morning I am headed to my silent book club. This is with my usual book club, so I get to see some of the friends I'm used to talking to. Silent book club is an hour of talking and then reverse. An hour of reading silently, and then after that we talk for an hour and kind of like hang out. Usually it sends into 2 hours because chatterboxes. That's okay. So after silent book club, I think today I'm gonna go hit up Target and see if they have some of the books that I'm looking for and see if there's any good sales. And honestly, I probably won't even buy anything. Sometimes just browsing in the section is plenty of entertainment for me. Then I'm gonna come home and I have some reading to do. So pretty chill day, but come along with me. For Silent Book Club today, I am still reading God of the Woods. This book so far has been pretty interesting. It is a thriller. And what's cool about it is it's set in the Adirondack Mountains in, I believe, the 70s. I think it's a couple time periods, but I think it's the 70s. I'm not very far into it. Kind of just now figuring out what's going on. Everyone's just getting to camp, and right now, someone is missing. So I'm excited. I'm hoping during Silent Book Club with that hour of reading, I get pretty far through and I'll be able to know a little bit about what's going on. This is one of the books for book club this month. So I obviously want to get it done before our book club meeting, which is, I think, next weekend, maybe the weekend after. So I have time, but there's 2 other books on book club this month and I would love to read them. One of the books that I'm interested in reading for book club is The Wedding People. I love this cover so much. So this is one of the ones I may purchase at Target today. I don't usually like to purchase a book until after I've read it on my Kindle, because if it sucks, I don't want it. I really don't want it. So we'll see. I really like the cover, so I may just buy it anyways. Before I head out, I gotta make sure I have everything that I need for Silent Book Club. Bring my little drink. I have my Kindle. I think it's at like 65%, so that should be good to get us through. AirPods fully charged, lip gloss, and wallet. I think we're good to go. Because we're going to a coffee shop today, I wanted to make sure I was wearing something long sleeve in case it's cold in the coffee shop, but it's also 70 degrees outside today. So yeah, linen is the choice. Here's Fit for Book Club, nothing crazy. You're so good. I just got out of book club. It ended up being 4 hours instead of 2, so obviously it was fun. I do think I'm gonna go ahead and head to Target, but on the way to book club, I did see a Goodwill that I've never been to before, and I kind of want to go check it out. So I think that's where I'm gonna go first, and then after that, I'll hit Target. Okay, I just got to Goodwill. I've never been to this Goodwill before. It looks nice based on what I saw on the internet and what I see people carrying out. Like, I see some people with good hauls. So I'm hoping that the book selection is good. I'm not buying anything unless it's a trophy. I'm not buying anything unless it's a trophy. That's what I'm telling myself. Or if it's like on my TBR already. So we're gonna go see what they have. I'm also shopping for classroom books every time I go into Goodwill because I need the rest of the Series of Unfortunate Events series, and I'm trying to get a second set of the Harry Potter series. That way my kids can check them out and I don't lose them. But that's what we're looking for today. So hopefully we get lucky. Okay, I just got to Target and I'm headed towards the book section. I don't really know what the goal is today. I think I'm just looking for trophies for cheap, if that makes sense. But it's Target, so I probably won't find that. But I like to get vibes and I like Okay, so that was a bust. I'm gonna go home now. Yeah, I think that's the right call. An hour of time in traffic, I'm finally home. So at book club today, I got to 17% in God of the Woods. I don't know why I didn't get very far. Someone was hacked in on my Spotify and I was dealing with that instead of reading, so my bad. But I'm only at 17% and I'm really liking it so far. It's definitely hard to keep track of, but how it's set up is it's giving you different perspectives of, well, it's all third person, but it's giving you the story of different characters. And what it'll do is it'll say June 1975 and then 2 months later for that character. And then it'll switch characters, June 1975 and 2 months later, or vice versa. Because it's talking about like when they arrive to camp versus 2 months later when one of the characters goes missing. So that's the thriller piece of the story. It is giving us a little bit of foreshadowing for an escaped convict like murderer. And so I'm assuming that he's going to come into the story. I'm not sure if that's why someone goes missing. I'm not sure where it's going to lead. But some of the girls at my book club were also reading it, and one of them had already finished it, and I trust her judgment very much. And she said that she loved it, but she felt like the ending was going to be controversial. I don't know what that means, so we're going to find out. So I am going to go ahead and change and get comfy and start reading, and hopefully I can get to at least the 50% mark today, and hopefully finish tomorrow, so that way I'm done with this book before going back to school on Monday. Honestly, right now I'm liking it. It's been a while since I've read a thriller, and this is different than the usual thrillers that I read, because normally I'm into like Frida McFadden and very like just typical thrillers, and this is much more it's kind of historical because it's in the 1970s, so it just feels a little bit different. But it's also the fact that there's so many more characters involved. Most of the time thrillers like focus on like 5 characters and that's it. This has a lot of people involved because it's set at a summer camp. And so I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see how everything pans out. And I'm imagining that it's kind of going to give you clues with the current perspective and the future perspective, like, and lead you up until that point where you figure it out. And I want to know what my friend meant when she said that it was a controversial ending. So we're going to see how far we can get today, and hopefully it turns out as good as I think it's going to. All right, Julian just brought me my dinner. I am at 33% in my book. I asked him to just make me a wrap, and this is what I received. Julian, will you please describe my dinner?
Today, chefs, what you have is a freshly grilled lemon pepper chicken. I marinated the chicken in lemon juice, salt and pepper, olive oil, then and some lemon zest. Then I grilled it to perfection. In the wrapped in a spinach wrap with fruit and ridges on the side.
Very modest, very simple, very subtle. Good morning. Last night after dinner, I went to bed and crashed after watching our show. So I did not get any further in the book. I'm still at that 33% mark. So I'm hoping to get done with it today, but it doesn't look like I'm going to. We'll just see how the day goes. Right now, I'm just gonna make some breakfast real quick and we're gonna get started reading. It looks like I just woke up, so I apologize. I guess I just kind of want to talk about how I feel about the book right now that I'm at that 33% mark before I get too far into it. It's right now there's about 10 major characters that we're following. So it's hard to keep track of everything, if I'm honest. And it does seem as if it's connecting it to a previous missing person. So the people who own the camp, they have a son who went missing like 20 years ago. And now their daughter is missing. So it's like definitely something weird is going on. And like I said, it's also hinting at the escaped murderer who's like a serial killer who is now on the run. And so I'm like, okay, so is he responsible for it? Like, was he responsible for the son? But it's not giving you any detail about the son. Like at first it was like, oh, the son was missing. He went missing when he was little. But then it's like, oh no, he's dead. So I'm like, okay, when am I going to find out what actually happened to their son? Because I feel like that's what's going to happen to their daughter. Like, you know, obviously, like, there's some sort of parallel there. I don't know. I think it's going to be really good, but it's one of those, it's going to keep you guessing until the very last minute, whatever, where it's going to tell you everything. So, I don't know what's going to happen, but right now, I feel like I like it. It's very interesting. There's definitely a lot of questions that I want answered, but I definitely feel like it's coming. So, how many times can I say definitely? I don't know why it's taking me so long to get through this book. Like, normally I would be much farther along in a book than I am right now. I keep having to, like, go back and, like, check what happened because I'm getting confused. Like, I almost want, like, a little map of what is going on because I'm like, wait, who is this? Who is Tracy? Why is Alice? Wait, what? Who is this person's parent? And I think a lot of that's intentional because I think the author wants us to be as confused as the other characters. But I need a little guide of who is who. Maybe I'll look one up and maybe that'll help me because, yeah, I keep having to go back and check what is going on. So it's taking me forever to finish this book. And I'm going to keep reading. Hopefully we get somewhere today. Hopefully. I really want to know what happened to the original brother. That's what I'm hoping to figure out today. Please. Okay, so I'm at 42% now. I'm definitely starting to understand the author's like style a little bit more, and how she's organizing the information, which I actually really do enjoy. I hate when a thriller is just information, and it's very much like intentional, and I like that. So I am on part 4, like I said. Part 1 was titled Barbara. So it was all the information about the like morning they wake up and Barbara's missing, and like a little bit of information about Barbara as a person. So like all the stuff that she was going through right before she went missing. Then section 2 is titled Bear. And this is her brother that had gone missing in 20 years ago, right? So it's giving us that surface level information, nothing too deep because obviously then we get too many clues. So it's giving us that surface level information and kind of giving us some background on the characters. Then section 3 is titled When Lost. So that's the one I just got finished reading. And it was giving all the information about day 1, Barbara's missing. Here's who the police are talking to. Here's the conversations. Her cabin mate. Yeah, her cabin mate had gone looking for her and she was lost. And so it's giving her story a little bit. So it looks like it's going to be like Barbara Bear, Barbara Bear, Barbara Bear. And kind of like give their stories at the same time. And then at the end, we're going to be able to see what happened to both of them is what I'm thinking it's going to be. But this next section is titled Visitors. And the only reason I'm thinking it's going to be Barbara Bear is because visitors, I just opened it up and it says Carl 1981. So, or 1961. So 1961, which is about the time when Bear went missing. So I'm thinking that's what's going on. I'm thinking that this is going to be about Bear going missing again, and that we're just going to keep getting more and more information until it all builds up on top of each other. I'm really liking this book so far. It's good. I do want more information, but I'm just going to have to be patient. That's kind of the whole point. So, we'll see. I really feel like the family is in on it because I don't know, just with the clues that I've gotten, the father and the grandpa are super aggressive and assertive and just like very like male dominance kind of thing. It's weird. But you know, they're like a rich family that's all about reputation. So like it makes sense. But when the boy went missing, the grandpa was kind of like suspicious, and like the little boy was talking before he went missing, he told their family friend that he was afraid of his grandpa, which isn't like extremely weird, but I feel like it's weird that it was brought up. Like I feel like it was brought up for a reason. And then the dad is super, super controlling. And I don't know if that's because his son went missing, like, you know, maybe it's just like a protective thing, but I don't really get that vibe. So his daughter, it's talking about how she's like kind of becoming like defiant and they're trying to send her to disciplinary school. But in all of this, the mom of the two kids that have gone missing, okay, she is very docile and very, very submissive and just kind of like lets everything, like lets the dad be in charge, which gross. So right here at the very end of part 3, he says like Captain La Rochelle is coming, like blah, blah, blah. She says, will he want to speak with me? No, says Peter, you're too upset. What do you mean? You're too upset. You've taken to your bed again. She says nothing. She wishes for a pill. Go on, he says. I'll help you up to the house. So he's literally like so controlling, and it's gross. Like I feel like the family is in on it and not the mom. Like she genuinely is heartbroken and like is just scared. Like she says multiple times that she's scared of her husband and doesn't want to make him mad. And like, I'm like, oh, yikes. So I feel like the dad and the grandpa, like somehow they're in on it. And they're like obsessed with reputation. So I'm like, is this some like, I don't know. Like, are you disapproving of them and so you like get rid of them? That seems extreme. I'm so dramatic. I don't know. Something is up with this family. I'll just say that. Okay, ignore the pimple patch. It is bedtime. I finished this book around dinner time, and it's dang near 10 o'clock now. I wanted to kind of let it sit and process for a little bit. So the ending was not at all what I was expecting, and it was a little bit anticlimactic for me. Like, I can't say much without spoiling. I don't know. There was some things that I was like, oh, that's it? That's all? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, oh, wow, that's shocking. But it wasn't like some crazy, like, oh my gosh, thriller ending that I usually enjoy. So I did rate this book 4 stars. I think that if it was a little bit more climactic or a little bit more mysterious in the end in what happened with both siblings, I think I would have rated it a 5. It's not to say that I didn't enjoy it. Obviously, I'm still giving it 4 stars. It was still a really well written book, and I like the way that the author organized all the information. But yeah, it was a little anticlimactic for me as a thriller lover, because I really like the like typical kind of like stereotypical thrillers, so I wanted that like big, crazy ending. I do not know what I'm going to read next, so if you have any recommendations, please comment and let me know. I am reading a Harry Potter book, so that's probably what I'll finish while I'm reading tonight, but I do need a next read. I'm going to bed. It's been a long day. Good night.